Travel consideration provided by...
Want to know a secret? I don't have any tan lines.
Mom, please tell me it's because you use natural glow and not a nude beach situation.
Get flawless, natural-looking color and no tan lines. Jergens.
A Capitol Fourth will celebrate its 40th anniversary tomorrow.
Happening now.
People need to understand COVID-19 is spreading far more rapidly now than ever before. It is not just in the big cities. It's in counties across the entire state.
Governor Greg Abbott today owning up to his mistakes and defending his new mask mandate, how local authorities are planning to enforce it.
I'm Dylan Collier. Coming up, an emergency staffing shortage at the San Antonio State Hospital, and now employees who have come forward to say that the facility is not following proper safety protocols for COVID-19.
Start making the popcorn. Coming up, we're talking mini projectors and backyard movie night.
And the holiday weekend is upon us, and I'll give you a hint. It is going to be staying hot out there. We've got triple-digit heat in the forecast for the 4th of July weekend. We'll talk about that when the next chance for a little bit of rain is, and I'll let you know when this dust is going to start to thin out coming up in the full forecast.
Plus, we have the latest on park closures and event cancellations in an effort to discourage large gatherings and further stop the spread of COVID-19. The News at 5 starts right now.
We don't need to ratchet back or close down or lock down our economy again. We can continue with our lives if we wear face masks, which are proven to slow the spread of the coronavirus.
That Governor Greg Abbott this morning on our KSAT 12 News at noon, actually in the afternoon, reassuring residents that another shutdown is not needed, but only if the right safety precautions are being followed by all Texas residents.
Yeah, the governor's new executive order mandating face coverings anywhere that has 20 cases or more went into effect earlier today. Mayor Ron Nirenberg issuing this statement today saying, quote, "The message is simple. Stay home if you can. Wear a mask if you can't. It's an order from the governor." Meanwhile, County Judge Nelson Wolf believes the governor's decision is helping heal the partisan divide over the issue.
People were trying to divide us between Republicans and Democrats, and now we have the head Republican of the state saying it needs to be done as well as us. So I think that's really, really good.
A statewide emergency alert even went out at noon today when the governor's mandate took effect. Judge Wolf says that ordering masks to be worn if staying 6 feet away from others is impossible was the governor's best option. And he says the other option would have been to shut down the state, and that might help stop the alarming spread of the COVID-19 virus after many earlier safeguards were lifted.
New at 5, the family of nursing assistant Yolanda Huron confirmed she died this week from complications of COVID-19. She would have turned 63 on Sunday. Huron's death comes as her co-workers at the San Antonio State Hospital say the facility has mismanaged its handling of the pandemic. Telling our Dylan Collier protocols weren't established and morale is chronically low.
It's very difficult.
This psychiatric nursing assistant at the San Antonio State Hospital asks that we conceal their voice and identity. We'll call them Tony. And Tony says each shift is now a terrifying endeavor. During the last one worked before this interview, only 5 of 30 patients they interacted with wore a mask.
Some of them don't understand boundaries. Some of them, they do not care to wear a mask, even if they're given the option to.
An email sent by the psychiatric hospital's head of nursing last week shows that it has reached an emergency staffing level. And with no sign of the coronavirus going away, employees fear the work environment will only get worse. Health and Human Services officials confirm more than 240 cases of coronavirus among its residents at state assisted living centers and state hospitals throughout Texas. But they'll only confirm 1 case here, citing the need to get additional consent from the people who have it. Sources say the number of COVID-19 cases here is much higher. Internal records appear to confirm that. The hospital superintendent recently acknowledged that mass testing led to positive results on a number of individuals. Administration's response to the rising panic among staff to allow them to wear T-shirts under their personal protective equipment. Rather than wardrobe tips, Tony would prefer guidance on how not to contract the virus while working.
My biggest concerns is that they don't have a direct protocol on what we're supposed to do if and when we do have patients that test positive or have symptoms for the virus.
For the Defenders, Dylan Collier, KSAT 12 News.
State officials declined to make hospital administration available for interviews for this story, but did say they have activated their COVID-19 response plan and that they are grateful for the dedication of their staff who provide an outstanding service, that they are committed to having the best care and safest environment for patients and staff, and that they will adapt their policies as necessary in the current evolving situation.
In other news, one person in the hospital, 2 others injured following a 2-vehicle crash on Highway 151 between Wiseman and Westover Hills. San Antonio police say the driver approaching a red light experienced possible brake failure, causing it to swerve right and jump a small median. Another car turning right onto Highway 151's access road was hit and rolled over, ejecting the female driver. Her car landed on top of her. She was eventually transported to University Hospital, but is in critical condition. 2 others from the first vehicle suffered minor injuries. The Bexar County Medical Examiner has identified 48-year-old Richard Rodriguez as the victim of a shooting on the South Side. That shooting is being ruled a homicide. It happened on Wednesday near Ripford Street and Knox Streets. San Antonio police believe that an argument over money escalated into the shooting. A second male victim was taken to BAMC in serious condition. Police say a third person responsible for the shooting is out there, but no arrests have been made.
San Antonio fire crews face multiple challenges while battling a house fire just south of downtown around 4:30 this morning. That fire happening on Pendleton Avenue. Fire crews say they were delayed due to a passing train. Once on scene, though, those firefighters found smoke and flames burning through a back room of the home up into the attic. Firefighters say they also face difficulties when trying to get inside of that home because of what they described as a hoarding situation. The residents inside were able to escape that home safely.
A man in police custody after allegedly driving drunk and crashing into a 6-inch gas main at a Northwest Side apartment complex. Police responded to the crash at around 1 a.m. at the Winbury Apartments in Gardendale. That's when police discovered natural gas was flowing out of the pipe. CBS Energy officials called in, shut the gas line down, and avoided an evacuation. The driver was detained for suspicion of driving while intoxicated.
President Donald Trump will be holding an early July 4th celebration tonight at Mount Rushmore National Memorial. Thousands are expected to attend, and the governor of South Dakota says they will not be enforcing social distancing. This as the U.S. records its highest number of COVID-19 infections in a single day. Nadia Romero is live from the White House on Trump's Independence Day plans.
Well, Tim, this is a big celebration in the middle of a pandemic. As you mentioned, the U.S. is breaking record after record when it comes to the coronavirus, and not in a good way. And that's why we're seeing states and local municipalities cancel their local festivities. But the president, he says he's pushing forward.
I'm going to Mount Rushmore on July 3rd. We're going to have a tremendous evening.
President Trump and First Lady Melania Trump are starting the 4th of July celebrations a little early with a fireworks spectacle at Mount Rushmore.
It's going to be a fireworks display like few people have seen. It's going to be very exciting. It's going to be beautiful.
For the first time in a decade, fireworks will be shot over the monument. The national park stopped using them in 2009 over the increased risk of fires, but Trump has been vocal about wanting to bring them back. An estimated 7,500 tickets available for Friday's event, meaning thousands may pack into an area during a time when cases of coronavirus are shattering records across the country. And the governor of South Dakota says she has no plans to enforce social distancing, something the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention recommends to reduce the spread.
We told those folks that have concerns that they can stay home, but those who want to come and join us will be giving out free face masks if they choose to wear one, but we won't be social distancing.
President Trump will head back to Washington for fireworks and flyovers at the National Mall Saturday.
We're going to have a tremendous July 3rd, and then we're coming back here celebrating the 4th of July in Washington, D.C.
So the president will get plenty of airtime between today and Mount Rushmore, tomorrow here at the White House with the party and at the National Mall. So Joe Biden's campaign wants to make sure you don't forget about him. That's why they're rolling out 3 new digital ads and spending about $15 million to flood social media. At the White House, I'm Nadia Romero. Tim, back to you.
Thank you, Nadia. Back here at home, many traditional fireworks shows are now canceled as a way to discourage large gatherings and to help lower the spike in COVID-19 cases. San Antonio's annual celebration at Woodlawn Lake Park is canceled. The city of Schertz canceling their 45th annual 4th of July Jubilee. And New Braunfels will not be hosting their annual 4th of July parade. However, the city will still have their fireworks spectacular. For more details on that, head to our website at KSAT.com.
Due to those fireworks cancellations, many residents might be considering making displays of their own. And if you do, there are some safety tips you need to know about. Never allow children to ignite or handle these items. Have a bucket of water or a hose nearby. Light fireworks one at a time and then back away quickly. And never try to light or relight malfunctioning fireworks. Never point devices at people and douse your fireworks in water before you dispose of them. These tips can help ensure that you have a fun and safe time this holiday weekend.
San Antonio Mission's National Historical Park will temporarily further their modifications to operations. This as a response to state and local guidance in an effort to reduce the spread of COVID-19. Effective immediately, the following will be closed to park visitors, all parking lots, picnic areas, and public restrooms. The parking lot gates at Mission Concepcion, Mission San Jose, Mission San Juan, and Mission Espada. And picnic area parking near Mission San Jose. These closures will last until Monday, July 6th.
Just another reminder ahead of the weekend, all parks in San Antonio and Bexar County will be closed. These closures actually went into effect yesterday, and they're going to last all the way until Monday. All county parks and park amenities are closed at the same time frame. For more details and a list of park closures and surrounding cities and counties, you can head over to our website. It is KSAT.com.
Outside with live cam, another afternoon very close to 100 degrees. We're reading 97 at the airport right now. We'll have to wait and see what our official climate report from the Weather Service says for our high temperature today. But we have had some weather watchers call in this afternoon with temperatures in the triple digits. No surprise out in Del Rio. You guys have been there. 102 in Warren's backyard, 94 in Lakey, 100 degrees in Schertz, and plenty of 99s and 98s here from our weather watchers. Thank you guys. Hope you have a great 4th of July holiday tomorrow. For the rest of the evening, not a whole lot of change here. Hot and hazy with temperatures slowly falling through the 90s into the upper 80s eventually as we get closer to 10 o'clock. The heat is hanging around this weekend, but we'll start to get rid of some of this dust over the next few days. We'll talk about your holiday weekend forecast coming up in just a bit. Ursula.
Thank you, Katie. Few people make it to 100 and even fewer make it to 104, but that's exactly what Maria Lopez did on July 1st.
¡Feliz cumpleaños!
You betcha. Today, her family celebrated that achievement with a car parade. Maria's family says they are grateful to not let this milestone go by without making notice during a pandemic. The people who know Maria best describe her as humble, hardworking, and noble. The parade was organized by Pride PHC Services, who offer supportive care for the disabled and the elderly.
When I had 2 of my staff members come and they said, Miss Cindy, we have someone turning 104. Can we do a parade like they do? And I said, of course we can do that.
Maria Lopez is the proud mother of 11 children.
Looking good,
Achievement
Maria.
there, too.
Yeah, happy birthday to her. Still ahead, if you still don't feel comfortable heading to the movie theater quite yet, then there's a solution for you. How to make the most out of your backyard movie theater.
If you're looking for something to do as you spend more time at home, how about a backyard movie night? 12 on your side's Marilyn Morris tells us what you need, from the best mini projectors to the popcorn.
Set up the big screen and break out the popcorn. It's backyard movie night.
When it's nice outside, my wife, son, and I can set up the projector, make some popcorn, and then have a fun family movie night.
Jim Wilcox is Consumer Reports tech guy. They just tested mini projectors, ranging in price from about $100 to $500.
In general, we found you get what you pay for, both in terms of image quality and features.
The best one in their test for picture quality was this LG model.
It also has some useful features like Bluetooth and wireless mirroring, which lets you send video directly to the projector from a smartphone or a tablet.
It also has a built-in TV tuner, so you can connect an antenna and get free over-the-air broadcast TV.
We did find one bargain in the bunch, the AXA Pico projector. It's a very compact, no-frills model, and it had decent picture quality and better than expected sound.
Many mini projectors don't have great sound, so you may want to add an external speaker or sound bar. When it comes to setting up your backyard movie night, you'll need an oversized screen. That should work. There are also portables with built-in stands or even blow-up screens, or you can just DIY it.
You can also use a light-colored wall or even a plain white sheet like I did. Just pull it tight so there are no wrinkles.
Now all you need is the popcorn. Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
San Antonio is one of the fastest growing cities, but it also has a reputation for being one of the poorest and most economically segregated. This week's episode of KSAT Explains focuses on the uneven impact the COVID-19 pandemic has had on our city and the existing inequalities it has spotlighted. You can watch that episode right now on KSAT.com.
If you're going to do the outdoor movie thing, may I also suggest a fan?
Oh,
and
or maybe a
mosquito spray.
Yeah.
I was going to say mosquito spray and a mister.
Yes, both, all that. Fan, mister, mosquito spray, yes, because it is going to be hot out there this weekend. And even as we get into the evening hours, still very warm. And unfortunately, this evening, we're really not going to have much of a breeze. Let's take a look outside. Things still look a touch hazy as you look off to the horizon, but compared to the poor air quality and the very hazy conditions we were dealing with last weekend. If you'll think back to Saturday, it was very hazy out there. Things are not so bad today. 97 at the airport with the dew point in the low 60s. That number has fallen this afternoon, so that is taking a little bit of the edge off of the heat index this afternoon. Now let's talk about the Saharan dust as we get into the holiday weekend. It is a touch on the dense side today, especially east of San Antonio, over closer to the Houston area. And at times this weekend, both tomorrow and Sunday, this dust could be a little bit dense at times, and that could give things just a hazy look over the course of the weekend. But it will not be as bad as it was last weekend. So that is the good news. As we get into Monday and Tuesday early next week, this dust will continue to thin out even more, and we should see even better conditions as we get into the early part of next week. But just keep in mind, for the upcoming holiday weekend, it could look a bit hazy at times out there. The bigger thing, though, the heat. It is going to be very hot this weekend. A touch on the unseasonably hot side. Our average highs this time of year in the mid-90s here in San Antonio. We'll be pushing triple digits the next couple of days with a whole lot of sunshine. So I mentioned that our dew point number here in San Antonio had fallen into the low 60s. So you'll notice that keeps our air temperature exactly the same as the heat index. So dew point isn't so high. That means it doesn't feel a whole lot hotter than it actually is. Now you get down to the coast where dew point numbers are a bit higher. It is 96 in Beeville, but it feels like 109 with a higher dew point number. Even just down I-10 in Gonzales, 97 your air temperature, but feeling like 103 because you've got a dew point at 70 there. So a good little spread between our dew point, just between San Antonio and Gonzales. You go even farther west, dew points have fallen off even more into the 50s. And the low 60s there west of 35. I think we'll see a similar situation tomorrow afternoon. So tomorrow morning, very muggy with dew points in the 70s, but just like today, dew point numbers should fall off very well along I-35 and west of I-35. So that's going to keep the heat index from getting too out of control for most of us tomorrow afternoon for the 4th of July. If you're down to the southeast, though, closer to the coastal bend, your dew point numbers fall off a bit, but not a whole lot. So you can still see a bit of an elevated heat index tomorrow afternoon. As far as the actual air temperatures, near 100 degrees down near the coastal bend, 100 here in San Antonio and along I-35, upper 90s in the hill country tomorrow, and then between about 102 and 104 down to the southwest tomorrow afternoon. No rain in sight this weekend. That'll start to change early next week, but even then not looking too promising. And even as you look across Texas, kind of interesting to see, very quiet as far as satellite and radar is concerned. We do have some storms trying to sneak into far east Texas from Louisiana there, but overall upper level high pressure hugging us close as we head into the holiday weekend, so that's going to keep rain out of the forecast. Now, late Sunday into early next week, it does start to move a bit farther to the west. That could allow for a few very weak upper level disturbances to give us really low chances of rain. That won't be until the early and middle part of next week. So tonight, partly cloudy skies, 75 degrees, your 4th of July forecast. Hotter than a firecracker out there. 100 degrees tomorrow could be our first 100-degree day of the year. We'll keep you posted there. And then early next week, temperatures fall off a few degrees. It'll still be quite hot, though, and low in chances of showers through the middle of the week. Guys.
I appreciate it that you didn't make Sunday 102 like Justin did by accident earlier today.
I can change it.
No, keep it
where it is.
Yeah.
All right, the 4th of July and baseball always go hand in hand, and the boys of summer are back at the Wolf, but a different version of the Flying Chocolates. Greg?
Right. You know, and it's great to be out. This was the first time we have been out of the station since March the 10th. That's when the Spurs beat the Dallas Mavericks and everything shut down after that. But the Flying Chocolates, with college players signed to play, are now competing tonight here at the Wolf. And we do have baseball at the Wolf tonight. We'll give you a live preview when we come back. And what is it like to go through that COVID-19 testing? DeMar DeRozan will tell us coming up. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome live to Wolf Stadium, where we do have baseball tonight. The Mission season may have been scrapped, but the Flying Chocolates make their home debut tonight with many college players with local ties. And the Flying Chocolates are coming into their home opener off their first win of the Texas collegiate season when they rallied against SAHARAN and Amarillo last night after an 8-run 8th inning to win 11-5. Now they face Arcadiana tonight, but before that, we spoke with their manager, John McLaren.
Biggest challenge to get this team going here in a very short period of time?
Getting them in shape. We're really behind the 8 ball because, this was put together very quickly, and, their bodies are going to tell them what they can do and what they can't do. So we've made good progress, and, that's kind of our slogan is get better every day, and that's all we're trying to do is get better and making a step forward every day, and we've done that.
Speaking of that, you've been on a bus for 8 hours coming from Amarillo. You're playing your 4th game in 4 nights.
Yeah.
What happens tonight as a result of all that?
Who knows? But that's one of the beauties of the game. I think you look back on the career, like I have, and you think about some of the best bus rides that were so-called brutal, and it was some of the best times you ever had.
That's so true. Now, one of the Spurs and all of the Spurs are back in San Antonio continuing their individual workouts before they have to depart for Orlando on July the 9th here and the reopening of the NBA season. That'll be on next Thursday. Now, one of the biggest adjustments for all of the Spurs have been getting back into the practice facility while following the NBA protocols. It includes COVID-19 testing. DeMar DeRozan has been back in San Antonio from his home in Los Angeles since last Monday. And DeMar was asked what it was like to go through the testing for the coronavirus.
The nose test is kind of tricky. It brings a couple tears down your eyes. But everything else not too bad. The saliva test, doing that every other day. Trying to stay on top of things and be healthy as long as possible. It's not too brutal.
All right, the Spurs will continue their workouts here in San Antonio before they leave for Orlando next Thursday. And right now, tonight, you have the Flying Chocolates baseball at the Wolf at 7:05. Plenty of social distancing. Live from the Wolf, Greg Simmons, KSAT 12 Sports.
Thank you, Greg.
A fun night.
I hope he's wearing his sunscreen.
I hope
very
so.
bright out there. We'll be right back. Thank you so much for watching the News at 5.
World News is next.